I'm Deputy Greg Stewart. My job is I'm a patrol deputy on the street. I'm a K-9 officer. I've been in K-9 for about 2 years. I started the sheriff's office about 10 years ago. So that's what I entail now. I work the streets. I work speeders, all the calls that we have, and all the bad stuff that goes on. That's what I do. To be a post-certified officer in the state of Tennessee, you've got to go to a post-certified academy. We have a couple of community colleges that do it, and then we have Toledo, which is the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy. I went to Toledo. It lasts usually around 12 weeks once you get your certification. It entails driving, shooting your gun, all the laws of what you can and cannot do. So you have to go through that and get that basically done first. And once you do that, then other training comes with time. Then after that, you have to go once a year and do in-service, which is 40 hours a week. You have to keep your in-service to keep your post-certification up. So that's what it entails. That's how to get started in it. You have to do that first. A typical day in my job is, we work 12-hour shifts now. I work 11 and a half because I have a dog. So we start out, I start out normally around 2 o'clock in the evening, check 10-8, I make sure I have plenty of gas, make sure the dog's good and good to go. And then we start going out and just kind of working, doing right around, observing traffic, things like that, listening to the radio, answering calls if need be, or if somebody needs the usage of my dog or whatever the case may be. And generally, stop speeders, things like that, get people aware that, hey, the speed limit's this, that, and the other, to try to keep people safe and things like that. So that's generally a typical part of my day, is just basically riding around, answering calls, stopping traffic, and things like that right there. His name is Flex. I'm pretty sure the sheriff's office is going to be able to let him retire with me because he's only going to know me. So he'll be able to, after his tenure, and they usually last around 8 or 10 years in the service, after about 8 or 10 years, he's going to be able to retire and be with me and live with me. The challenges of the job is dealing with the public at large, dealing with the calls that you have and things like that right there. But with that said, the reward is great, because this job for me is not just a job, it's a calling. I love it. I'm very passionate about what I do and about the community I serve and things like that right there. The challenges of the day is just dealing with different types of folks and things like that, different types of calls and things. You gotta wear a hat of many colors, so to speak. Sometimes I'm a counselor, sometimes I'm a big brother, and sometimes I'm just a person that just wants to sit there and listen to them get whatever off their chest. It doesn't matter. And some of the challenges of the daily job that we have is you see people a lot of times on their worst day, unfortunately. So in my line of work, I try to give it a positive spin to the utmost, as best I can. So that's some of the challenges. The rewards is, for me, I love people, and I love seeing people do better, get better, things like that. So with dealing with folks, the rewards is if I had to deal with you later on down the line, you come up to me and you say, hey, I appreciate you just listening to me that night and stuff. So I try to go above and beyond to make people feel like, I'm really honed in listening to them and listening to what they're saying, and I care. So I really want to make them feel comfortable with that. So to me, that's the rewards of it. They don't have to say anything. For me, it comes back full circle if I ever get to see them again. And I've been able to experience this in the 10 years, and people's like, hey, you treated me really well. I really appreciate that. That in itself, for me, is the reward. The advice I would give you is just be, number one, if you want to be in this field, number one, don't be in it for the money. I'm kidding. It is a very rewarding job with that. It pays very well. Don't be in it for the wrong reasons. Be in it for the right reasons. Be in it to make a difference, to help. Don't do it just for a job and a paycheck, because sometimes you can get burnt out in that way and stuff like that. But do it for the right reasons. Do it for the right reasons, and get your training. Take as much as training as you can. Get as much training as they offer, take it. If they offer this class, that class, take it. Educate yourself as much as you possibly can, because in the year 2021, we're dealing with all different types of folks, all different types of personalities, all different types of religions, things like that right there. And you just want to educate yourself. And above and beyond, you need to be patient. You got to be patient. You got to be cool. You got to be calm as a cucumber, as my mom used to say, and you got to be patient. That would be my advice.